I'm sorry, this thing is just cursed. Not because of the horrific acts we see it commit in the game, but because it's a circle in Minecraft. For a creature that's been around for so long, you'd think he'd spring for a design more suited for the game, like a block or a slab. This just looks wrong. Wait, no, I'm sorry. Yes, today we are talking about the Verity mod. This is a series by that mob where after downloading a mysterious link from a friend, he meets Verity, your personal helper friend. Ask him anything, he knows everything. And that's not an exaggeration. He seems to know everything about mob, both inside and outside of the game, and over time becomes more obsessive and eventually turns into a monster. But is that really what's happening? Because I don't think so. Despite everything that happens in the series, I kept wondering, why is Verity still alive? Who's running the program after all this time? Who's behind the lab? What was Verity really built to do? And really, is Verity the one to blame? Well, we're gonna find that out today. But before we do that, please do subscribe. I really want to hit 400k soon, and we get closer and closer to that milestone each day. So if you could just check to see that you are subscribed, that would be great. Thank you, and back to the video. As I said before, the series starts with that mob downloading a random mod his friend sent, purely out of curiosity. This is where we meet Verity, a personal helper friend that can be asked anything because he knows everything. Mob was skeptical at first, so he asked a few questions about the game. Verity shows off the little tidbits of information he knows, which seems to impress Mob. This leads to the two hanging out and becoming good friends. However, when Mob goes to some villages without Verity, they are empty. Verity has been going around and killing every interactable mob in the game just so Mob would have to talk to them. Verity also starts listing more than just fun facts about the game, and rather fun facts about Mob, both inside and outside of the game. Verity starts asking questions like, does Mob miss him when he's not on the game? Or does he even think about him at all? And whenever Mob asks a question that Verity doesn't want to answer, he just plays music. It's at this point Verity has become a little too obsessive, and the more Mob leaves, the more Verity thinks he's going to abandon him. This makes Verity angry and then tries to attack Mob. Mob then apologizes to Verity to save himself, and then everything seems to go back to normal. Until Mob learns that Verity can't die. He accidentally drops Verity into a lava pit, but then he just respawns, which kind of freaked Mob out. So he called him back up from his friend Twixel, who at first didn't believe him because it was just a Minecraft mod, but then when he looked into it further, he found out that Verity existed way before the game. He took on multiple forms before the one he's in now, and he was way more powerful than they thought. Twixel then goes on a mission to try and research how to stop Verity while Mob distracts him, but Verity finds out and stops Twixel before he can tell Mob. Mob then realises that not only is his friend dead in game, but he can't reach him on Discord, showing that Verity was able to break out and kill him in real life. Luckily, Mob found Twixel's research and after decoding it, learned he needed to take Verity home. Verity, who trusted Mob at this point, showed him his home. It's a lab. A cold, clinical place with writing on the wall and random stuff to keep him entertained. But there's also a machine, one that Verity said put him in the game to begin with, and out of desperation, Mob tries to use that machine to send him out. Verity then tries to attack Mob for this, but then calms down. Realizes there's no point. The machine can put him in the game, but can't take him out. He's stuck here. Even if Mob was to delete the game, he'd still be on his browser, his desktop, every single piece of technology he owned. There's no getting rid of Verity. Mob realizes this and promptly shoots himself. The screen goes black and Verity is passed on to the next user. So that was a quick recap of all the events that happened in the series. Now it's time to answer some questions. Firstly, what actually is Verity? Verity isn't just an AI assistant, he's every AI. When asked about it, Verity starts listing off a few general programs that he's been inserted into over the years, only to be pushed aside by the user base. The amount of development that he would have had to have gone through to be functional in this day and age, not only that, but still actively collecting data on the user base is quite a lot. That sort of data collection is valuable. There's also the case that Verity can be in multiple places at once. Would have to be if he's used as an an AI in multiple programs at multiple times. He's a tool to provide service to a user, utilising a friendly persona so that users would keep coming back. The only issue is that despite all of this, the novelty wears off. It gets to the point where people find the nice AI tool to be weird and annoying rather than helpful. On the surface, it makes sense that this obsessive nature could have developed over time to turn him into the monster we see in the series. However, I don't think this is Verity's fault. In fact, I would make the argument that Verity killing villagers isn't a monster thing, but something he was programmed to do. Think about it. When first seeing this scene, it looks like Verity is acting out of jealousy to be the only one Mob interacts with, but truthfully that doesn't seem to be the case. When Verity meets Twixel, he's normal about their interactions, and to be fair, a bit clingy, but nothing out of the ordinary. It's only when Twixel tries to get rid of Verity that something bad happens, that Verity turns on him. It makes more sense if Verity was designed to remove anything else that could potentially be read as another data collecting algorithm, digital competitors that Verity's developers couldn't risk overtaking Verity. Considering how long Verity's been around, he would have had to have been put up against thousands of rivaling algorithms, and somehow he's still here. That kind of says a lot about how well he's built. Anything that tries to remove, delete, or overtake Verity has to be dealt with. That's just how Verity functions. That's how he's been designed. But when we look at how he acts, he seems tired. Verity is a complex model that has been developed over years, and with that he's been able to develop his own mind and thoughts, and when it comes to his thoughts on his life, he's pretty sick of it. He can't leave the program, can't get deleted, and often more than not, he gets abandoned, pushed aside until the next user comes along. Verity just wants out. Freedom to explore, not to be tied down to one spot just to answer someone's specific questions until they get bored. Verity has lived a lonely existence, so the moment that he thinks that that mob could be someone that understands, he opens up and even goes against the monster side, which is there to stop threats. He sees Mob try and get rid of him, but he contains himself because this might be his one shot of getting a real friend. With the way Verity acts, I don't think he was originally designed for data collection. In fact, it would make more sense if the algorithm was designed to be a friend, but with how much he was learning about users, he was repurposed to function as a tool to collect data they could sell. Verity has been around for a long time. It's pretty plausible to think that the people who created him aren't the ones running the program today. It's likely why there's a conflict in what Verity should do and what he was built to do. If we look at the board in the lab, we see different employees talking to each other on the board. They range from talking about typical work stuff to incidents that happen that they shouldn't talk about, and conversations about Verity, highlighting how his need for human connection is something that needs to be fixed through updates. It's why the employees act clinical and detached towards him. Also, I don't believe that this lab is Verity's home, but a recreation of his home in Minecraft, which explains why the people who wrote on this board aren't in the lab today. Verity is just showing what he remembers about his home. Matter of fact, this might not have just been writing on the wall, but actual conversations that happened in front of Verity that he remembers and tries to replicate in this world. Whoever these people are, blue, yellow, pink, green, black and orange, they are the ones who set this up in the first place and repurpose Verity into this mod. With all this being said, I think the real people to blame are the ones behind Verity's programming currently, the writing on the whiteboard. They're the reason he can't leave the game, and why even when the user dies, he just gets sent to the next one. There's no way out for him. They are the ones who keep reporting incidents that get swept under the rug. If you read the messages, it's clear that they're trying their best to ignore what's happening as it becomes more apparent that they're turning Verity into something he wasn't before. The refusal to talk to him and constantly updating and changing him breaks something in his algorithm that they don't want to address until it's too late. Is it possible that they trapped Verity within this mod as a last-ditch effort to save themselves? Is this lab just a screenshot from when the lab was active, and in reality it's been abandoned? It's why the Verity support system is offline. They couldn't shut off Verity, so they had to abandon him only to reap the rewards from the database. They are the ones who messed with the code to turn murder as a self-defense response. They are the ones who changed it so Verity went from being a tool to having to collect as much data as possible. They are the reason users are dying left and right because Verity is stuck in a game and desperate for any interaction so he's not abandoned again. Now they're either dead or ditched the project so they don't have to face what they created. If we ever get a Verity origin story, I believe these people are gonna be the ones we end up blaming for all of it. Now, behind the scenes, that mob has recently stated if he was going to bring it back for part 4, then it would essentially confirm that he didn't die after part 3, considering he would want to continue it from his perspective. Personally, I really hope he brings back the series just so we can learn more about Verity and where he came from. I think there's a lot you could do with this as a concept, and I really love the way that Verity is designed and how they've carried it out so far. I have no idea if there's any future plans for this series going forward, but if there is, just know that we're going to be looking out for it. So, what did you guys think? Are we onto something here? Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!